Hey everyone, I am Brett Schiller with the Schiller Group, part of Next Gen Realty, and I have got my friend Nathan Ellsworth with me today from Allstate Insurance. I'm not an insurance professional, but I get a lot of questions about insurance, and that's why I have Nathan here so that he can answer some questions for us. I've got a few questions that I'm going to rapid fire to you, Nathan. And we're going to go over topics like when should I engage with an insurance agent, how much insurance do I need, and things like flood insurance and so on. So with that, we're going to get started. So Nathan, I am looking for a house scenario, and when should I actually engage you as an insurance agent with that process?
I think the sooner the better. That way, the sooner you engage with us, the quicker we can get you information, and you'll have that information so you know how much your monthly payments are going to be. But the sooner the better, we can provide you with information.
Perfect. And are there any circumstances where I do not need to get insurance for a home?
Well, if you pay with in cash, then it's up to you whether you would need insurance for your home. The lender, if you use a lender, will require you to have home insurance.
Got it. So if I pay cash, I can. Every other scenario, I will be required to get insurance.
Yeah.
Understood. So there's a lot of insurance companies out there, and when I'm looking at an insurance company, I see the big ones like Allstate, State Farm, Geico. Is there anything in particular I should be looking at with an insurance provider?
Yeah. I would say the biggest thing by far is their ability, of course, to pay claims in a disaster.
Makes sense.
Their financial stability is going to be the most important thing. Of course, the big name companies typically are going to be more financially stable. There's also actually a lot of smaller homeowners insurance companies that have kind of popped up over the last 15 years within the state of Florida, who are also A-rated and also have good financials. So there are a lot of companies that you can choose from, but there's also ones that you probably do want to stay away from just because they're newer companies or their financial backing isn't as sound.
Got it.
So if you just kind of do your research a little bit, then you'll identify those companies that are A-rated.
Got it. Okay. And I am sure I'm not the only one that doesn't love to spend a lot of money on insurance. So if I'm a savvy individual that wants to save on my insurance premium, is there any suggestions you would have to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the individual, but there are lots of things that you can do within a particular policy. Of course, shopping around is going to help you to identify what the best policy is as far as premium goes, and each policy is going to be pretty similar as far as their coverages, but then within each of those policies there are things that you can change. Whether you have a $1,000 deductible or a $2,500 deductible, you can save a little bit of money obviously if you go up to a $2,500 deductible within a particular policy. So
sometimes with a little bit more risk tolerance there are some options for you.
Exactly. They can kind of explain to you what these coverages are, and then you can identify personally whether you want to go with.
Got it. Is there anything such as a bad policy?
Yeah, I mean, well, it really depends on you once again. I mean, because as I was saying, there are some things that you can do to save money, but you just need to be aware of those things. The worst thing that could happen is you get into a policy where you haven't talked with an agent and they haven't explained to you, some of the details of the policy. Every policy has like general coverages, and then on top of that, there's a bunch of other coverages that you can get or not get that can save you a little bit of money here or there. So you definitely want to talk with an agent and identify.
Make sure you know what you're signing before you
actually
sign the insurance policy.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And looking at new construction versus an older home, how would I expect my insurance to differ based on either buying a brand new home or one that's a few years older?
Yeah, newer homes are going to be much cheaper, generally speaking, to insure. As far as like coverage amounts, if they're equal, newer home you would pay less, obviously, and then an older home. And I'm sure there's data to back that up. You know, an older home, obviously, you're going to have potential issues that go wrong with old plumbing and old electrical and all that kind of stuff. So newer homes, you're typically going to find a cheaper policy for the same amount of coverage as an older home. So.
And if I am looking at an older home, I know the biggest thing that I'm looking at as an agent is the age of the roof. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else in particular that I should be aware of when looking at an older home that would affect insurability, or is roof the major one?
Roof is definitely the major one. The insurance companies really care about the age of your roof right now, and so I would say that's the biggest one, because typically speaking, if the roof is 15 years old, you've pretty much priced yourself out of many of the insurance companies.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. So as long as I know the age of the house and the age of the roof, I can have a pretty good feel for how insurability that home is.
That's true. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Shifting gears into flood insurance.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Florida, and does every home need to be insured for flood insurance?
Short answer is no.
Okay.
Not all homes need to be insured for flood. It's if you have a lender, they're going to require it. So in some respects, yes. And then if you're not in a flood zone, then it's kind of up to you and what your risk tolerance is.
Right.
I have a lot of customers that are not in a flood zone, but they definitely want flood insurance because we're in Florida. So.
Yeah, and a question we get asked a lot of time is, well, how much does this flood insurance cost for this particular home? I'm looking at it, I want it, and how quick can I get that information once I identify a house? How can I get to know what the insurance would be for flood on that home?
Yeah, so we can do flood quotes right along with your home insurance quote. So it's a pretty easy process. So it just goes right along with your home insurance.
Perfect. Well, that is all the questions that I had for you today, Nathan. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And thank you everyone for listening to our quick video. Hopefully it helped provide some information around your insurance needs. If you have questions, feel free to comment below. We're more than happy to provide any information that we can. And thank you so much for stopping by, and have a great day.